Hello, everybody. This is Chris Alicia coming to you from Virginia in the US. I am coming to you tonight because I'd like to introduce two things. First, my season 2 of Intentionality Unraveling the Divine Secrets of the Universe, which will be airing on Awake TV Network tomorrow, Monday, the February 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. This will be my second season with Awake TV and leads me to the second thing I would like to introduce, which is a new divine masterclass, which is all about the 7 keys to ascension. So last season with Intentionality, I explained what intentionality was. So intentionality is understanding the divine blueprint of the universe, of every molecule, of every atom. It's understanding that there is a blueprint that has been left behind for us to find. Not just left behind for us to find, left as breadcrumbs for us to find our way home. Intentionality is a term that's been coming to me in meditations for several months now. And every time I see a pattern of numbers, every time I see the purpose behind the grand design, the word intentionality pops into my head. Because intentionality means that we can find our way home, that we have the power to see the grand design. All we have to do is be open and willing to look at the patterns of the universe. So in season 1, I went through many different elements of intentionality. I'm talking about how quantum physics and sacred geometry play a huge role in helping humanity ascend. I talked about numerology and how there are 3 numbers of massive significance to the human race. The number 3, which talks about divine balance, balancing our power to connect to earth, our power to connect to the cosmos, and our power to connect within. The number 12, which is the number of the collective. 12 is the number of oneness. It is the number for our tribe. And when you connect to that number, you feel like you're a part of something. And the number 7. Now, the number 7 resonates with humanity on a very, very deep level and has since the beginning of the written word, and I'm sure well before that as well. The number 7 talks about the personal, individual steps to ascend as a soul. So there are 7 steps to ascend from a base material level to the highest level of oneness. And if you look at the cultures across the world, our ancient ancestors knew this information. They knew about these 7 steps, or at least they knew parts of these 7 steps. So if you look across the world at the number 7 and see where it has found significance. For example, in music, there are 7 bass notes in music. In Christianity, God took 7 days to create the earth. And Judaism, there are 7 bands of the Kabbalah band for protection. In Buddhism, Buddha's mother died 7 days after giving birth to him. In the Hindu tradition, there's several different aspects of the wedding ceremony that involve the number 7, and the same thing with the Ba'i. So the number 7 has been important to humanity forever. But it wasn't until I studied alchemy that I really started to understand what it was that the number 7 was trying to do for us. I didn't understand its place in the divine intentionality. So when I started studying alchemy, I learned that there were 7 steps for ascension in the soul. Now, most people know alchemy from the movies, right? Even Harry Potter had the Sorcerer's Stone, which talked about being able to turn any object into gold. Now, while that is a form of alchemy, that is a lower form of alchemy. The highest form of alchemy is transforming the soul from this human element to the element of the divine. And there are 7 steps to break down the soul to its base elements, to mold it and furnace it and create it, forge it into this divine soul of oneness. So once I started studying alchemy, it brought to mind all these other traditions that talk about 7 stages of clearing or ascension. For example, in metaphysics right now, it is very big to see the 7 steps of soul awakening, each step corresponding to very specific emotion and physical ailments that come by awakening, by the awakening process. And each one you have to let go a little bit more of who and what you were in order to reach oneness. So I took those 7 steps of soul awakening, compared them to the 7 steps of alchemy, and I started to notice these patterns, these areas where these steps merged together and created a beautiful and followable program. So then I started thinking even farther about the chakra system. Everybody knows about the chakra system, the 7 internal chakras of the body. Now, the chakra system comes from India in the 1500 BC. Chakra in Sanskrit means light energy wheels, spinning energy wheels. So when I learned about the chakra systems, I learned about them very onesie-twosies. People would talk about your heart chakra. You would go in and you clear your heart chakra. Everybody must have an open heart chakra. But when you take the chakra studies to the next level, it leads to the Kundalini awakening. Now, the Kundalini is the serpent, the source of power within our bodies, within our spiritual bodies, that rises up from the very first chakra all the way through the 7th, coming around and opening us up for oneness. It's called the Kundalini awakening. So when I started to look at the Kundalini awakening, the 7 different systems of the chakra, comparing those to alchemy and to the soul awakening, there was an undeniable pattern across these steps. These steps were meant to be read and understood together. And then the last piece of the puzzle got put into place for me when I started studying Mary Magdalene. Now, Mary Magdalene is very well known in Christianity, but she's known as the great prostitute. When the Bible was originally rewritten after the Council of Nicaea, Mary Magdalene's role in it was changed. It was convoluted and confused with the other Marys that were written in the Bible, Mary being the most common name for Jewish women in Israel at that time. So Mary Magdalene was given this reputation as a prostitute because a pope, I believe in the 600s, got up at his pulpit and said Mary Magdalene was the prostitute, and Jesus forgave her of her sins. So it's used very much as a control element and a lesson for sin. And it wasn't until the 1960s, 1970s, when the Pope, I think 1980, when the Pope came out and said that that was wrong, that for centuries we had been calling this woman a prostitute when in fact she was not. But that information still stayed out of the mainstream. What was even more unknown to followers of Christianity as well as outside religions was that Mary Magdalene was the prophet of prophets. She was Christ's first follower. Now, what I mean by this is when Jesus was crucified on the cross, Mary Magdalene, his mother Mary, and his sister were the only 3 of his followers that witnessed his crucifixion. All the rest had fled. Mary Magdalene also washed the body, and when Jesus resurrected, he came to Mary Magdalene, and he gave her secret teachings. Now, it talks about this in several of the passages of the Bible that were cut out by that Council of Nicaea. It talks about these secret teachings that Jesus gave just to Mary. Now, in the late 1800s, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene was found. But the church didn't release the gospel until late in the 1900s. So over 70 years that they had this gospel, that it was not released to the public. And today, most people still don't know about it. They still don't talk about it. But what Mary talks about in her secret teaching is the 7 stages of wrath. That there are 7 stages that the human soul must go through, 7 things they must overcome in order to reach Christ consciousness. Now, Christ consciousness, whether you're Christian or not, the way it's described is the same thing as oneness. It's the same thing as ascension. All of them are trying to reach the same goal. They're trying to reach a phase where you are no longer limited by your human body, where your soul is free to express and to do and to travel to a place where you know you're never alone, that you are connected to everything. So Mary Magdalene's 7 phases of wrath, when you take those 7 stages and you combine them to alchemy, and you combine them to the chakra system, and you combine them to the soul awakening, you have a 7-step program that combines traditions from across the world, from Israel, from India, from China, from mainland US. You have stages that will reprogram your brain, reprogram your heart, reprogram your soul to understand what it feels like to ascend in this lifetime. Every single time you meditate, it gets easier for your body to meditate. Every single time you evolve up, even if you get sucked back down into the mire of the world, it gets easier to go back up. So these 7 key steps, once you experience them, once you feel them, once you embrace them and feel them at a cellular level, they are activating a code inside your body, which will allow you to take those steps faster with less pain. It will allow you to realize when you've slipped back down a phase of your evolution so that you can bring yourself back up. So this season on Awake TV network, I'm going to be going through those 7 steps. My hodgepodge of traditions mixed together, alchemized together to create the 7 key steps to ascension in this lifetime. Now, every episode will be on one of those steps. Now, there will be a couple weeks where we have to do some kind of integration, and I'll bring in some masterful healers to do integration and activation for the viewers, because these steps require you to really look inside and do the hard work. But we're going to do it together. So every week I'm going to go through the step in depth. We're going to talk about what it is, what it means, how to reach it. And that's where the masterclass comes in. So it's not enough for me to just talk to you, talk at you. I don't want to be another talking head. I want to evolve with you. I want to ascend with you. So that's why I'm offering this masterclass. So I'm offering a 8-week masterclass to correspond with the 7 key steps of ascension. This masterclass will meet every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll meet after each of the steps is shared on Awake TV, and we will start doing the work together. So at step 1, if we have to break ourselves down to the base level, we have to clear our root chakra. We have to get rid of the first stage of wrath. We're going to do this together. It is going to be a small group of true seekers, light workers who are willing to do the hard work to program their souls to ascend in this lifetime. And every step we will take together. And then we'll be able to turn around and affect the evolution of everybody around us, because when we ascend, everyone around us ascends with us. So this 8-week masterclass, which starts on Wednesday, February 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, includes regular meditations and homework. There will be homework involved in this as well. And all the students will be given a one-on-one session with me as well to make sure that everything is tracking. If you need help integrating any of the information in, if you just need someone to talk to and to help purge some of the underlining elements that have kept us on these lower steps of ascension. That's what I'm here to do. Now, the group element is where we're going to create a safe environment using all the traditions of alchemy, of ancient Chinese tradition, of priestess training, of shamanism. We're going to bring traditions together in a way that has never been done before. And we're going to do it together. So if you're interested in the masterclass, please reach out to me via Messenger on Facebook or send me an email at chrisalicia@intentionality.com, and I will put that information in the messages here. You can also reach out to me on my Facebook page, or I'm sorry, my YouTube page, which is Intentionality, Unraveling the Divine Secrets of the Universe. But reach out to me quickly, as we have 2 weeks to get the group together to start this ascension process. And it's going to be a small group, as we need to do this work together at a level that has to be safe. It has to be, we have to connect to each other in a way that you've possibly never done before. You're going to have to look at yourself in a way that maybe you haven't done before. And it might not be comfortable, but you're building pathways in your body, in your heart, that are going to evolve you spiritually in a way that you can't even imagine. So this 8-week program is $2,100 for the whole 8 weeks, and the 1 week session, or the one session with me, one-on-one, 1 hour session. We're going to learn and grow together. We're going to learn to let go of our past, to let go of our fear. We're going to learn to fly together. I hope you can join me. I hope you can join me for my second season on Awake TV. The second season is going to be bigger and badder than ever. There are new teachers, there's new content. And please watch my shows live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Mondays, every Monday. And if you watch it live or within 24 hours of the original time, it is free to watch. So please feel free to watch the episodes free. If you are interested in the other teachers, please subscribe to Awake TV Network. I have a code that will get you 50% off the first month. If you are interested in that, please let me know. And if you're interested in the masterclass, please reach out to me quickly. I do enrollment calls with everybody joining my classes so that we can connect heart to heart. I am very, very excited about this season. I am very, very excited about this masterclass. I hope that you can join me. And if you can't join me for the class, watch the show. These 7 steps have never been talked about in this manner before. And you can do it for free. So love and light to my tribe, to my family, to my friends, to those I have met, have yet to meet, and may never meet. Love and light, and we ascend together. Thank you.